Good morning, everybody. This is Tony Fapiano, and I'm coming to you from actually the southeast corner of the Guilford Green. That's Guilford, Connecticut, for those of you that are watching this on YouTube. In a moment, you're going to meet our cameraman and co-producer, Mike Sinclair. And what we are here for is to cover it's about the 53rd, I believe, parade that has been sponsored and produced by local citizens following what used to be the Guilford Fair on the Guilford Green. And we'll get a little bit of history with that so you have more detail. But right now, at least, that's why we're here. And hopefully we're going to be able to get all of the parade to you. So if you were unable to be here for whatever reason, hopefully it'll be interesting, and hopefully it'll get you everything that we're experiencing, which is a very exciting time. As you know, with the COVID, a lot of things did not happen last year, and one thing was this parade. So right now I'm going to ask Mike Sinclair to take his headset off. Don't walk over here with your headset because you'll knock the camera. Oh, okay, you got it. And he's going to stand right here or sit here, whatever.
All right.
And Mike and I are doing this together. Now, Mike, we've done this before.
We've done it before. I don't know how many years ago. It was a while back.
Okay, yeah. I've had 27 different cameramen.
Haven't found one you like yet, have you, Tony?
As long as they didn't say no, they were the cameraman. But as you know, this is not NBC. It's
No.
GCTV.
That's right.
So we're going to do the best that we can. Though you're a longtime Guilford resident.
I am. I came here in '77.
All right. So I'm assuming that you've been to this parade as just somebody with your kids.
Definitely with my kids. I've got 4 kids, and we went through the.
You have 4 kids.
Yeah.
Back then they knew what caused that. You know that.
Yeah. What was that? Anyway, so all 4 of my kids participated in school floats.
Yep.
And I particularly remember one time we spent like an all-nighter working on the Melissa Jones float.
You were one of those volunteers.
I was one of those volunteers, yeah.
Well, we're going to see that because all the elementary schools have a float.
Yep.
I believe the middle school has a float.
Yep.
And they're out there right now. They're setting up right now on the parade route. We're going to see a lot of floats, a lot of music, a lot of kids, a lot of excitement. So even, the other thing that I think that's important here to mention, and we'll go get an interview with this person, there was actually not going to be a parade this year. There was none last year because of the COVID. And there was nobody to do the parade. The previous people that did this didn't want to do it anymore. So it would have been a travesty, as far as I'm concerned, to not have a parade. This thing's been going on forever,
Right.
and it's become a Guilford tradition. So a woman by the name of Debbie Palouse stood up and said, let me put a committee together. Let me see if we can do this. And you know what? They did one hell of a job. You got to see the detail here.
It's terrific. She stepped up to that. It's not an easy job. Rotary did it with Nancy Bishop and the rest of the Rotarians for a couple of years, and we know what it takes. It takes a lot of work.
And Frank Ifkovic and Stephen Page did it for 35 years.
Right.
But they're right there on the corner. So for them, it made sense to get involved. But they both retired.
Right.
And they retired giving this up as well. Actually, the originators of this parade were, one was Gil Lombard. He's still in town. And I happened to run into him, and I said, if you see us videotaping, come on over and give us the what happened in the very beginning. Whose idea was this? And see what he has to say. So we'll try to get as much information to the folks at home as we possibly can.
Tony, how long have you been doing this?
A long time. I was a little boy.
Oh, come on, yeah.
Yeah, I was a little boy. I don't know. I started with Bob Vanderwide back in the late 80s and moved on with Bob Shepard for a long time, and then Donald Beckler and you and others in between. So, off and on. I actually retired from doing this 3 years ago. I didn't want to do it anymore. But
Well, Tony here is the face of Guilford TV.
Don't say that!
You see him all the time. You're on all the time.
Well,
And frankly, it's time to retire.
but
isn't
less
it?
and less. It's time for me to get away. You had enough of me.
Yeah. I gotta
All
go.
right, Mikey. So we're going to go down and talk to Debbie Palouse.
Okay, have a good show.
All right, good. This is going to be very simple, very short.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
I've already done a brief interview, a brief introduction of what this is about, and I mentioned your name.
Okay.
Now I want a little background on how did we get to this point, Okay, Mike, I was able to snag probably one of the busiest people in the town of Guilford this morning, Debbie Palouse. And Debbie, you and your committee, let me just say this, unbelievable what you've done.
Well, thank you very much.
I can only imagine how much work, how many meetings and so forth. You've only been doing this for a few months, actually.
We started meeting the first part of June, and we've been meeting every week. There's been 6 of us, and we've been working very hard and looking forward to today, and everything seems to be working okay.
Yeah, and on your committee, I don't think anybody on the committee actually had any experience doing this previously.
No, none of us had. We have all, for various groups, marched in the parade and watched the parade, but none of us had been, and loved the parade, absolutely.
How much of a travesty would this be if you didn't step up?
Well, as far as I know, it was not going to occur unless someone stepped up, and I happened to make the calls and decided to go for it and looked for some good help and found some.
All right, we already talked about this in a previous program that we did. Your predecessors did it for 35 years. Are you in it for 35?
Oh no, not. No, not.
It would be nice if you could be, though, wouldn't it?
It would be, yeah.
It's only one day a year.
I know.
No, I get that. So what do we have here? How many entries? How many?
I believe
hundreds and hundreds of people here.
Well, yes, I believe we have 70 entries in the parade. Some of them had to drop out this week, but a good-sized parade, similar to what it was before the pandemic. And I think there are 7 fife and drum corps, a couple of bands, the school floats. So we're in good shape.
You got the politicians for sure.
And the politicians, yep.
And we've got a very interesting election coming up this year.
Yep.
You got all of them.
And scouts, we got scouts and sports groups. Yes,
yeah,
the whole range.
What restrictions, if any, did you put on anybody that participates here? Are you masking? Are you asking for vaccination?
No, nothing like that. We checked with the health department, and being an outside event, none of that's required.
Okay, so you're probably dealing within the state guidelines.
Yes.
Somebody up there said, "Here's the rule, you follow it."
Well, I checked with the local health department.
Okay, all right. Well, that's good, because that may be some reason why you have fewer people, or some that dropped out at the very end, is maybe they felt a little.
That could be. I'm not sure. Yes.
I'll tell you though, in general, most people are not too skittish about this. Some are. It's a small percentage.
Doesn't seem so. Yeah.
Chris and I were at a concert 2 weeks ago in New York State. With 25,000 people there. Nobody had a mask. Everybody shoulder to shoulder. It's like nobody cared. And it wasn't young people. This was for older folks. Not that I'm old. I don't want to give people the wrong impression, but you know what I'm saying. And it was not. People are just ready to break loose.
Yep, and we have a perfect day for it, and everybody's really excited.
All right.
Yep.
And I'm so happy for you that you did this. As you come through, we'll try to get the names of all your committee people so that they get credit for this as well. I know you're going to be marching on the very end. Is that it?
That's correct. The
Okay,
committee will
terrific.
be the very end.
Debbie, fantastic. I love the T-shirts, by the way. Mike,
Thank
you
you.
get this? Look at this.
Thank you.
All right,
Front-
turn around.
front and
There you
back.
go. We got it all. Thanks so much.
Okay.
All right, Debbie. I think we're on. Anyway, we're walking down the assembly route. This is the assembly route, and there's 80, 90, 100. I don't know how many groups are actually here assembling this morning.
It's pretty big this year.
But one of the more important ones, for the town of Guilford at least, is the Guilford Community Fund.
Yes, thank
and I'm
you.
with the president, Adrian Price. Adrian, so much for what you're doing right now. Just stepping up to be president is a big deal.
I would agree with that.
What do you guys do?
Well, we support 22 different charities in town. We've been raising approximately $100,000 to $150,000 a year for these 22 charities, and they specifically help Guilford residents.
Okay, and where's the money come from?
Donors right here in town, mostly local people helping each other. Friends helping friends, neighbors helping neighbors.
Okay. And you support 22 different agencies. Those agencies, I assume, have to be nonprofits or 501c3s
They
or
are
something.
all nonprofits, yep. Meals on Wheels is our biggest one that we support. We support them 100% with their request every year. And then we have another 21 charities behind that, and we try our best to fulfill their needs as well.
All right, and if somebody wants to be one of those agencies that receives funding from you, how do they go about doing that?
They can fill in an application, just get a hold of any one of the board members through either the website or the Facebook page. We have a really good Facebook page now. Just reach out through messaging, and we'll get in touch with you with an application.
Okay, and you have a bigger group than this. I just happened to catch you because you just got here.
Yeah.
Who do you have here?
Mike Berube.
Hey, Mike.
And Faith Berube.
Can I give you a word of advice? Because I know Adrian a long time.
Me too.
People in life are going to judge you by the people you hang around with. Remember that, okay? Be careful who you hang out with.
Appreciate that. I think.
Okay, folks. Mike has got a shot now of your sign. I can't see what it says, but I'm sure it has to do something with flowers or something about gardens or something like that. I'm with Judy Oceani and others, right? Judy, tell us what you do.
Oh, we support many nonprofit things. We plant trees. We planted over 120 trees, and
You did?
Yes,
Where?
we did. All over town.
I
all
don't
over
need any more
town.
trees. You know that. Mine go down every storm.
Okay, and Carol, yeah, we do scholarships.
Hold on, I got to get you a microphone.
We provide scholarships each year to the high school seniors, and we have a wonderful Christmas boutique every year. That's our major fundraiser. So please come on down later in December.
And that boutique, you sell a lot of wreaths, as I recall. And you guys all make the wreaths, is that correct?
Correct.
Who's the wreath person here?
Oh, there's Carol.
You? Okay. So, does that sell? I mean, is there a market for wreaths?
Oh yes, of course, it's Christmas.
Yeah. And how are you guys funded? You have memberships? I mean, what do you do?
Yes, we pay membership dues, but we have fundraisers, mostly the boutique. We had a plant sale in May, and we sold plants and things at the tag sale at the Griswold House.
All right, and I'm looking at this sign here, post office window boxes. You do that? That's one of your responsibilities?
Yes, it is. Yeah, and the town hall, and the horse trough. And we maintain the gardens at the Griswold House and the Mary Schmidt Garden.
Wow. You guys are busy.
We dig it. We
Listen,
dig it.
if this stuff doesn't work out for you, have you ever considered an exciting and rewarding career in real estate? I can help you out there. No? All right. Thanks, Judy. Okay, folks, I came across a very tough-looking bunch of guys here. What is this all about?
Yeah, this is our Guilford Youth Football and Cheerleading Group. We've got our cheerleaders here ready to march and cheer for us, and all of our football players, all of our kindergarten through 8th grade football players.
So you have the football players and the cheerleaders as part of one entity?
Exactly, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And it makes sense that you would do that.
Of course,
I mean,
of
you know,
course.
they're not the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, but
They do a great job, though.
they probably could be. But the bottom line here is, what age groups are you actually servicing?
Yeah, so these guys behind me are 8th grade, our oldest youth team, and then we go all the way down to kindergarten. So we have a flag program from kindergarten through 3rd grade, and then our 4th through 8th graders play tackle football.
Okay. And who do you play against?
We play all over the state. We play all of our shoreline, neighboring towns, Madison, the Branfords. We also play Wallingford. We go as far out as Newtown and Monroe. So we're playing all over the place in the Shoreline Youth Football Conference.
And you guys are getting ready for, you're not old enough yet, but in a couple of years you'll be getting ready for Madison.
That's right.
You got to get to Madison. You got to get hand. Is that all right?
That's right. Well, these boys beat Madison last year, so.
Again, my grandson for a few years. He might still be involved. I don't know. Jordan Espinoza.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And his father was involved. I
Yeah,
think,
he
as
coached for a
coach.
couple of years. Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. Yep. And
All right.
we have the Guilford varsity football team behind us as well. So we got all of our Guilford
Oh, you
football
got
players
them
out.
too? Wow.
Yeah, they're back here just.
All right,
behind
we're
us.
looking for you on the parade route.
All right,
Thanks
we'll see
very
you out there.
much.
Thank you.
Okay. Folks, I'm with the Nutmegger Chimney Service on the assembly route.
On the assembly route.
You're gonna be marching in about 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so. You'll get started.
Yeah, we know that.
Tell me what you guys do.
Well, my husband does it, not me, but he.
Is Mike your husband?
Yeah. Yeah, he does everything chimney. You name it. He's been in town since.
Don't get personal.
19.
Just what your company does.
He does sweeping, masonry, rebuilding. I don't. What does he do? He worked for him.
Come over here.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. Stand right there. Mike, can you get this? This guy's doing something I've seen right on Whitfield Street. Okay, so you're one of the people who does this work.
Well, I used to work for him when I was younger.
You no longer. Okay.
Yeah.
But now every year, he's
I
the
get
one.
roped into this.
Yeah.
But you've been marching with them, or been with them for a few years.
30 years?
Yeah.
You guys have been in this parade.
32.
How many?
32.
Wow, more than me.
Really?
Yeah, more than me.
Wow, 32 years, yeah.
All right.
He's been everything from a baby in a diaper to Mardi Gras, throw the beads,
I got it.
to,
Where do I get a hat like that?
and the other side of the truck.
Thank you so much.
Right there.
All right.
Okay.
I just got a word with your wife. She was telling me all the stuff that you do. You must have been doing it this morning. You're all black stuff all over your
Yeah,
face.
it's never ends.
Never ends, huh?
But I love my job.
Yeah,
it's
how's
what I do.
business?
It's good. You know, with the pandemic, everyone's taking care of their houses and their
Yeah,
children.
you probably had an issue going into houses at some point.
Yeah, well, I wear a mask all the time anyway,
Yeah.
so it doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
But it's a pleasure to go into homes and to make sure everyone's ready for
Yeah,
the winter.
now you guys have been around a long time. You do a great job.
Well,
Thank you,
very
Mike.
much. Right.
Folks, we're walking down the assembly route, Mike and I are, and we've come across a bunch of different groups that are starting to assemble for the parade, which will be stepping off probably in about 15 or 20 minutes. So I wanted to catch you before that happened. I'm with the Guilford Land Conservation Trust, right?
Yes, yeah, that's right.
All right. So why should I trust you to conserve my land?
Well, we've been doing it since
How's
19. Good morning. I'm Spencer Meyer with the Land Trust. We've been doing this since 1965 here in Guilford.
Yep.
We own and manage about 3,000 acres here in
There you
town on behalf of all of us, all the residents and everyone, all of our neighbors. Westwoods are some of our more popular spots, and during the pandemic over the last couple of years, our lands have been more important than ever for all of us to get out and find some solitude and enjoy the trails.
I think you just picked up another piece out on the west end off Route 1, right? In the back that attaches to that Wolf Hollow. Didn't you just get that?
We're almost.
There's
Almost got that?
there's some
Yeah.
discussion about that. Yeah, you're ahead of us.
Yeah. I know the developer that was interested in developing that was very smart.
Yeah.
He went to you guys and said, I'm going to give you some of this.
We often work with developers that are looking to do open space concepts for subdivisions and things like that, and that's how we pick up some of our land. We also purchased a big piece in conjunction with the Bartlett family up in North Guilford,
Yep.
just off of Bluffhead during the pandemic.
All right. Now, you mentioned a very interesting word for all of this, and that is purchase.
Yeah.
Where's the money come from?
The money comes from all of us in town. We fundraise regularly.
I know this lady.
Yeah, come on in, Sarah.
She's been around a long time. Maybe as long as you. Not as tall as you, but been around a long time.
Yes, Guilford residents and our members have been very generous over the years, and it's really important that we have as many members as we do. And we're looking forward to getting some new members today. We even have some flyers we're going to hand out.
That new T-shirts?
New T-shirts.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
That's good.
And we'd love people to visit us on our website, guilfordlandtrust.org, and join us as members. That's how we can create all these properties for people in town.
Okay, so you're actually at the other end of the word developer. Developer is over here, you're over here, but you can coexist in this town because people still have to have houses and businesses or whatever. Is that right?
Not only that, but I think there's a strong case that people sell more houses when there is more conservation land in their town. So
Well,
we are helping the real estate market.
I think you compare Guilford to other shoreline towns, you guys are dominant. I mean, you got...
We've had wonderful success, and the key was that in Guilford they started early. They understood the value of these things early, and so what we've done is build on what was started in 1965. It's a lot easier to build on it than to try to begin
You weren't
it.
even born in 65. All right, thank you so much for your time. I got to move on.
Great, thanks for
And I'll look for you on the parade route. All right. Okay. Okay, folks. I love parades, and one of the main reasons I love parades is because of the fife and drum corps that show up. I think we have 5 or 6 today, which is really great. And you guys are from Stony Creek, which is very close to here.
Yeah, just short way down 146.
Some people think Stony Creek is Guilford. I don't know if you know that, but
Well,
they would like it to be Guilford. Let's put it that way. Stony Creek is beautiful.
Creekers like it to be the creek, though. We're
Okay.
Stony Creek, right?
Okay, what do you guys do? I mean, I know you play music,
Yeah.
but what makes you stick together and want to be a part of this?
The love of it all. I mean, we love getting together. We march the parades, and not only that, but we hang out. We have a lot of gatherings all over the state, all over the Northeast, really. With just the camaraderie of it all.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, you're a huge part of any parade, but especially Guilford. Who's been here the longest? Who's been a member of this the longest? Probably you. How many years?
50 years.
50 years. You probably knew when Carl Balistraci was involved?
Carl was around, but he wasn't involved.
Yeah, and what about, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I'm an old Farquhar fan. Do you know who the Farquhar were?
Yeah,
the McGowan brothers?
Yeah, sure.
They were involved with you guys too, right?
Back in late 50s, early 60s, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're no longer, but yeah, I mean, what a great, what a great background you guys have. When did you start? 1886. Yeah. All right, terrific. We're looking for you on the parade route.
We'll be making noise.
All right, we're on the southeast corner of right near Guilford Savings Bank.
Okay.
As you turn that corner, we want to hear some music. All right, you got it.
Listen, these are
Federal,
important. They won.
national, not local, national elected official, Rosa DeLauro.
Nice to see you guys.
And she just got promoted to be the chairman of the Appropriations Committee. Is that right?
That's right.
All right, Rosa, stay right here.
Thank you.
Let me get a word with you, all right?
All
on
right,
camera?
yes.
Okay. Mike, you got me? Okay, all of a sudden, Rosa DeLauro showed up. And I know, Rosa.
I'm looking for the beginning. Hey, I need to talk to you.
Yeah, you're going to be one block, half a block down.
Okay,
You'll be at the beginning. But you show up every year.
I do. I love this. This is fabulous.
Yeah.
It's such a wonderful community event. You know, and everybody turns out. Look, you've got the
This is
lacrosse
great.
champions
I was just
here
telling
this
the
morning.
kids how important you are in
Well,
Washington
yes,
with the chairman of the Appropriations Committee. That's a big deal.
It is a wonderful place to be in. It. About
You don't spend the money on this, do you?
I spend no, not this. I spend my own money on this, not the federal government's money.
Oh, no, I get
Right,
that.
right.
I get that.
So.
But you know, you are definitely unique as far as you stand out among a lot. But so how close are you to President Biden that you would be the person selected to do that? Or is it Pelosi that did that?
No. I run for election with my peers. So my colleagues elected me to that position. I won overwhelmingly in a 3-person race. So delighted that they put their faith and trust and confidence in me. You know, about $1.5 trillion goes through the Appropriations Committee, all of which...
That's with a T. That trillion with a T.
That's all so important for the country, but for the state of Connecticut
Absolutely.
as well. So,
Rosa, thanks so much. You better get going because you're going to be marching up front.
Yeah, let me get a
Hey, how about a hand for this lady? She's very, very important for us. There you go. All right, who's in charge in this group?
Down there.
Who is? Come over here. Come over here. My arms are too short.
I'm good.
My arms are too short. You are?
I'm Wendy Epke.
Okay, and what do you got here? Who is this?
This is our SEC and state champions, Guilford High School lacrosse, and these are some of our youth players that are our future SEC and state champions.
I get it. And lacrosse is a fairly new sport in town, but very successful.
We've been very successful the last couple years. We won the SEC tournament 2 years in a row, but this is our first state win. I think that it's been around for 20 or 30 years, so it's been here for a little while.
It's been around that long, but it hasn't been.
It hasn't grown
at
like
the
it
top
has.
of the list.
Yeah,
but
so,
now it is.
Yeah, no, we've had a lot of kids in the youth program start to play, and it's just growing and building, and so then we're now seeing like the fruits of our.
And you got a big group here.
Yeah, we have a pretty big group. The seniors that graduated last year, they're all away in school, so they couldn't join us, but everyone else is here ready to celebrate.
Now, seniors that graduate from high school, does this become an asset for them when they apply to go to a school? That they're an athlete?
Yes, of course, because it takes a lot of work to be a high school athlete. You have to.
You hear that? Study hard and play hard.
Yes. You
all
have
right.
to do both things. You got to balance the school side of it and the sports side of it.
Are you a teacher? Or
I'm a
coach?
teacher in the school too.
In which school? The high school?
No, I'm at Baldwin and Adams. I teach PE there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, my grandson just moved from Baldwin to Adams. So
Nice. I'm sure that I'll.
He plays lacrosse.
Awesome.
Yeah,
okay,
he plays
good,
lacrosse.
Good.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a good day. Have a good day, guys. Good. All right, I've interrupted actually. You were getting everybody ready to go.
It's okay, we got time.
And I jumped in the middle of you. Mark Gam.
Gam, yep.
Gam, okay. And you are the music director for Guilford High School.
Correct.
But this band is a little different than what you usually have. What do you got here?
Yeah, well, the special thing about this year is that we've got the high school marching band as well as the Adams 8th grade marching band. We had a very short start to the school year, or a very late start to the school year. So these guys are doing this on only 4 practices. And so we've invited the 8th graders to join us to kind of bolster our performance.
All right, how's this guy? Is he any good? Who's been here more than 1 year? All right, tell me, is he any good? They like you. That's a good thing. No, I'm telling you, you did have. There was one question I was going to ask you. How'd you get these people ready for this?
They worked really hard for it. We told them right from the beginning this was going to be a huge challenge, and that they were up for it, and we're excited that they pulled it off. It's going to be, we're in for a treat.
All right. Now we're going to be set up near the corner of Guilford Savings Bank. When you guys come around that corner, we want to hear you.
I got you.
Yeah, what do you got on the agenda?
We're playing America.
Oh, good. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Little patriotic
Thanks, Mark.
music. You bet.
Thanks
Have a
so
good
much.
parade. Thanks,
All right.
everybody.
Okay, folks, Mike Sinclair and I, Mike being cameraman and co-producer of this program, actually moved from the assembly route, which is right now fairly chaotic. You have hundreds and hundreds of people trying to assemble. And I got to say, the organization of the committee and the people that they had doing the actual marking the street, because you're going to try to position now 85, 90, 100 different groups have to be positioned in a certain location. So actually members of the Guilford Rotary Club who have done this before came out early this morning and marked the street with chalk and numbered them. So everybody that showed up here to participate, all they had to do was find their number. And you'll know them because the Rotarians are all wearing marshal vests. Anyway, the parade is just getting ready to step off. It's just about 10 o'clock. And what they're going to do is go all the way up Whitfield Street, come across the north end of the green, come down Park Street, past the town hall, and make the turn in front of Guilford Savings Bank, and then go on to where they disassemble. So that's going to happen now. And once it gets going, we'll try to do some reasonable commentary without insulting too many people and not omitting anybody, more importantly. So the bottom line is, Mike, are you ready? I'm ready. Okay, we're ready. Take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, I'm with one of the vendors that is in the parade this year. You are?
Austin Sutcliffe.
Okay, is this your company?
It was my late father's. He passed away last year.
Okay, I think I probably interviewed him over the years.
Oh, yeah,
yeah. Every year.
Yeah, he was here for the last at least 15 years, or however long it's been going on.
Yeah, and one thing I always asked him was, you are a good way of us judging what's happening with the economy.
Mm-hmm.
If stuffed dogs and cats and whatever are selling, that's probably an indicator of how things are going.
Yep.
Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%.
So how are things going?
So far so good. Slow start today, came out a little bit later, but hoping we do good.
Okay. And where are you going to stay in a stationary position, or are you going to walk with the
No,
parade?
I'm walking all over the place. I walk from the beginning to the end, to the beginning to the end, as many times as I could before it's over.
That's a good way to do this.
Exactly.
Yeah. As soon as you sell one of these, another kid's going to see it and he's going to want it.
Hopefully, exactly.
Right? There's psychology here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, you got
Hopefully the next person wants it.
All right, good luck.
Have a good one.
All right. Okay, folks, as you can see behind me, you have the Guilford PD lead car, which is traditional. They are leading, obviously, the start of the parade, which, by the way, it actually stepped off on the corner of Whitfield Street and Boston Street. If you know where Amarone's is, right on that corner, or Page Hardware. From there, they went all the way up Whitfield, across the north end of the green, and now they're on Park Street, and they did that fairly quickly. I'm not sure some of the older people are going to be able to walk as quickly to keep up with this. So there may, in fact, be some gaps in here which we'll try to fill in. But it's great to see the police again. Okay. And the police are followed, as they should be, by the Honor Guard. And I believe this is the VFW. Yes, it is. This is the VFW Post 7666 in Guilford, and the Color Guard. And it's the Edward Norton Auxiliary Post 7666. And the committee has had some banners made this year, which you can see. The first banner you're going to see is actually where we are, and that is the Guilford Fair Parade, which, by the way, that name has changed a little bit over the years. I believe the first name of this parade was the Citizens Day Parade, and the intent of those people, if Gil Lombard shows up, as he said he might, I'll have him explain this, but I think the intent at that time to have the name the Guilford Citizens Day Parade was because they wanted this parade to be open to anyone and everyone. Now it's because the fair is going on behind us, they've changed the name to the Guilford Fair Parade. And I think that happened when Rotary took it over a couple of years ago. As I mentioned, the fair is actually going on the fairgrounds right now. The fair used to always be on the Guilford Green until 1968. In 1968, it moved down when they acquired that property down there, which is the fairgrounds. So so the fair is going on. I happened to run into Mr. Walinda. If you know who the Flying Walindas are, if you've been to the fair, you know who they are. And I saw him this morning going into a coffee shop and asked him how it was last night, because we're taping this on Saturday morning, which is the morning after the night before. That's a song, the morning after the night. It's a Farquhar song, Mike, just so you know. Anyway, the bottom line is that I spoke to him, and he said it was very well attended, and he saw it was a very normal opening. So I'm guessing that post-pandemic, they are not going to lose any people. They are not going to. I believe the fair is going to do extremely well, especially since the pandemic is over. The restrictions are relaxed, and I just think it's going to be great. So next in line here is Matt Hoey, our first selectman, Christine Cohen, Senator Cohen, and Rosa DeLauro, who you met earlier in this tape. I'm assuming those, and Sean Scanlon, who is our representative. Hey, Sean, how you doing? Christine? Hello, Matt. Post-pandemic, you're still doing this.
Absolutely. That feels so good to be back out here, and the crowd is
I read your
tremendous.
message yesterday. You said this is what we need.
This is exactly what we need.
Exactly. You got two really important people.
I know. And,
three really important people.
And Rosa as
Yeah.
well.
And you got these guys too.
Who's
And
always so gracious coming back to us.
I already
With-
spoke to
with a
Rosa.
bad foot.
I love when Rosa shows up, don't you?
In a boot, no less.
Rosa, listen, I would hug you, but I learned my lesson. I watched that Andrew Cuomo thing. I'm not doing that. You hear that? All right, next up. This is the Chester Fife and Drum. Boy, do I love Chester. They are the oldest continuous drum corps in the United States. 153 years old, 1868. Okay, so behind them we have the Grand Marshals. Now here's what you need to know. Most parades have one Grand Marshal. This year there are 12 Grand Marshals. And you can hold up your signs. Hi, Darka, how are you? What these people do, these are representatives from 12 different categories. So instead of one Grand Marshal, you got 12 Grand Marshals representing all of the essential workers that helped us get through the last 18 months. Keith, how you doing, pal? And they represent, quickly, I'll try to read this, healthcare, EMTs, fire, police, educators, business for profit, business for nonprofit, delivery workers, farmers, town workers, volunteers, and scientists. And that was Joe Galino in a 1984 Mercedes. Peter, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Peter, you did make it. You made it all the way around. I get it. Okay. That's Peter Palumbo. Many of you know him. Peter, what he focused on in the information, he's been in business obviously forever, but what he's focusing on now is conservation. Look at that. That is a neat car that they've got going. Guilford High School and Adams 8th grade band. How great was that? All right, United States Coast Guard Auxiliary, established in Guilford in 1959, and this is a uniformed volunteer component of Team Coast Guard. Now you're going to see the Guilford Fire Department, and when I tell you the fire department shows up, they show up. You know, if you need them, just look at what is potentially at your service. A huge, huge resource for the town of Guilford is the Guilford Fire Department. And if you look at some of the equipment they have, they can cover almost any scenario, any problem. You know, you wouldn't think that they have I don't know what they call it, you wouldn't think they would have a need for a hook and ladder, but they have one of those too. I mean, not a lot of tall buildings in this town, but sometimes you got to get up on a third floor, and they've got the ability to do that. More importantly, the people on the fire department are just phenomenal. I mean, you have the majority now is a paid fire department, as far as I know, but there's still a number of volunteers that are involved. And I'm going to be corrected at some point when somebody hears this, but I'm pretty sure that is the case now. There was a time when the Guilford Fire Department was 100% volunteer, and then little by little over the years, that's just not possible. I mean, if you have people that have a full-time job and they're working in Meriden, and there's a fire on Whitfield Street, and that person is a volunteer, no, it doesn't work. So now we have, I love when they do this. I hope you can hear me. Can they hear me, Mike? So that is at least, I don't know, how many pieces is this? 10, 20, 25, whatever. Washington, that's right around the corner. Yeah. I'm not sure where all these names came from for the different locations of the fire department, but I'm sure they all have a very strong and interesting history associated with it. Picking up the sound of the band. Good. In the parade next year, I think you guys should do commentary. You probably could do that, right? I can help you out with equipment and all that. That young high school girl was waving at you, not Mike. Okay, this is the dog drone. I'd love to get a word with him, because the dog drone, he uses state-of-the-art drones to search for lost pets. And the dog, is that Stella? I was told the dog in the back there, who's barking away over there, has many, many fans on Facebook. And the reason being, that dog had cancer of one of its paws and had one of his legs amputated. And he's still healthy, happy, and ready to go. All right, now you got the Brantford. Let's hear it. That is the Brantford Town Band. Followed by, that was Kathy Branca, who is in charge of that. Hi guys. All right, this I assume is this is the Agricultural Society. Now, the Agricultural Society has many, many members, and every member has many, many animals. So who do we have here?
This is Sage. Sage is one of our 4 mammoth donkeys. And she'll be at the fair, at the show tomorrow, the Donkey and Mule Show at the Guilford Fair.
Oh, fantastic. You got...
This is Chewbacca.
Okay.
And Sharpie is over there. Sharpie's on a U.S. postage stamp that just came out in May.
And sometimes I see you guys, these guys, near the fence on Flag Marsh Road.
Absolutely.
That's where they live.
That's where they live.
When my dog was alive and he was in the back seat, I stopped every day when these guys were there so he could take a look. He loved it.
Yep.
Very good.
Thank you.
Okay. And of course, they're part of the Agricultural Society. And the fair, as I mentioned, which is their big deal, is going on right now on the fairgrounds. Some of this stuff is really old. I mean, some of these pieces of equipment, if you look at it, are phenomenal. Somewhere in here, I'm not sure if it's part of this or just behind them, is a group called the GMS Tractor Museum. And the Tractor Museum is a 501c3 nonprofit foundation whose mission it is to develop, maintain, operate. Hi guys. Let me see who they are. And how are you?
How are you? Good.
What's your name?
Elizabeth.
And who's this?
Isla. My name's Isla. This is Walker.
Oh, very
What's
nice.
your name?
And who's the guy driving? Is that your father?
Yeah.
Is that your dad?
That's not mine.
Good job. How you doing? I didn't realize, but there is a tractor museum, and it's called the GMS Tractor Museum. As I mentioned, it's a nonprofit. They have antique trucks, agricultural tools for viewing by school groups. Is that going to make it all the way? Is that going to make it all the way to the end? That's older than me. That's old. Well, as I mentioned, lots of members of the Agricultural Society in Guilford, and every one of them has equipment, so you're going to see a lot of it here. And some of this stuff is used maybe once a year. This might be the only time they take it out of the barn and dust it off and get it ready for what is now the Guilford Fair Parade, what was for many, many years the Guilford Citizens Day Parade. And good job. How are you? I see a lot of that name, McCormick Farm Oil. There's a lot of those here, that brand. Looking good. That one too, that's a Ford. This guy used to drive an antique car, I remember him, yeah. And this is more Agricultural Society. It just goes on and on and on. That's fine. Okay, Lucas, want to do me a favor? Come here. The committee gave awards to all of the elementary school for their floats, which are towards the end of the parade. But they handed me this list of who actually won and what category they won it for. So Lucas Espinoza, Save Medlin Farm. Okay, good deal. You want to read those for me?
Yeah, best design, that went to Guilford Lakes. Best student workmanship, that went to Baldwin. The best use of props went to A.W. Cox. The best use of costumes went to Calvin Leet. And most creative went to Melissa Jones.
Okay, thank you. You know, it's great that they all get an award. I just wonder how they decided who got what. And Peter Barrett, who was a judge, was supposed to come over later and explain what the judging was like, so we don't have any voter fraud. We got to be careful of that these days, you know. Okay, now we have Bishops. Bishops Orchards. It has many of their staff members are going to be on that vehicle, and they're highlighting their curbside services through COVID and safe pickup. And Sarah Delavantera, who is Sarah Bishop Delavantera, was actually the one who actually put this all together for them and was in charge. How are you? Good, how are you? You're looking great. And quickly, what's going on at your place on weekends now?
Oh, pumpkins, apples. Oh, what am I doing? Do I have to do this? Pumpkins, apples, our wine bar, live music, the creamery, you name it.
Unbelievable.
Everything. Lots of family fun.
I haven't been there yet, but I heard it's great.
Oh, come on.
Okay. Well, I could use these guys. All right, so what we have now is the Guilford High School boys hockey team. And what they're doing is basically rollerblading and showing some of the skills. These kids are talented kids. And this team represents the excellence of both Guilford athletics and the hockey community. The team also supports many community events and volunteers while encouraging Guilford's youth to enjoy and pursue the exciting aspect of ice hockey. Never played ice hockey. We never had that when I was a kid. But obviously it's a big deal here now. I was a kid a long time ago, by the way. So, but the bottom line is that these kids are really, if you watch them and you watch how they handle this, they're really good. Guilford High School boys hockey team. Nice job, nice job. I'm not going to get 5. Nice job, guys. If you're sensing that I'm reading some of this, I am reading some of this. What we put in place years ago when Stephen Page and Frank Ivkovic were actually coordinating the parade, I said, you know, these groups come through. I don't know every group. I don't know all these people. I don't know what they do or who they do it to or anything else. So we came up with the idea that when the groups registered or applied to be a part of the parade, that they filled out an application, they supplied the committee with insurance, but more importantly, they also supplied a paragraph of information about what they do. And, you know, over the years, that I did it, I made many, many mistakes trying to describe something that I knew nothing about. And, but they told me to do that, so I'm doing it. That's what I did. Anyway, bottom line is the fact that they've now given me these paragraphs to read is very important, for me at least. This is another really neat fife and drum corps. And I think there's 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 fife and drums in the parade this year. This fife and drum is the Yalesville Fife and Drum Corps. And apparently from Yalesville, which is part of Wallingford. The Yalesville Fife and Drum Corps is pleased to participate again in the Guilford Fair Parade, we were told by Bernard Lendauer. And they have been here many, many years. They have been busy performing throughout the state. Last month they performed and marched in the Vermont State Blueberry Festival in Wilmington, Vermont. Let them come by and play for you. Okay, so you met Adrian and his other. Hey, Mikey, how are you? And if you hold up your signs, hold them up. Hold them up. These are some of the stuff that they. Wow, Meals on Wheels, Guilford Food Bank, Charlie's Closet, you name it. There's the Guilford Center. I can't do it that fast. Center for Children is right behind the Guilford Community Fund. And they are followed now by Guilford Interfaith Ministries. And Guilford Interfaith Ministries is a non-profit, sounds like a religious group because of its name, but it's not. And what they do basically is they are in charge of Meals on Wheels, the food bank, friendly visitors, Charlie's Closet, and well-being for homebound individuals. I mean, they just do a phenomenal job, especially with the senior community or anybody that has a need because of physical or medical ailment. And how about these folks? Guilford Arts Center. I missed the Guilford Arts Center. It's supposed to be here. Maybe they're somewhere else. How about the Guilford Peace Alliance? The Guilford Peace Alliance, every Saturday morning for as long as I can remember, no more war. That's obviously a goal that everybody can buy into. I don't know that it's realistic, but at least for now, no more war. I think I missed the Guilford Arts Center. Okay, this is Higginham. Yes, this is Higginham Haddam Fife and Drum Corps, organized in 1971. All right, did you know Guilford High School had a rowing team? And rowing is actually a Guilford High School, an official Guilford High School varsity sport. Hi guys, how you doing? What's that? That's a big oar. Yeah, I know. I did not know that they had a rowing team. And here's the garden club, who you met earlier. Hi ladies, how are you? What about me? And as they mentioned in the interview earlier, they take care of a lot of different locations. They do the landscaping for it. The Guilford Garden Club, good group, nice people, really nice people. And this is the Griswold House. Oh, that's another thing they do, is the Griswold House Gardens. They do the gardens there, as well as the post office and a bunch of other places. Okay. There's a lot of people now. And this is the Guilford Youth Football and Cheerleading. You actually met earlier in this program a small example of this. You want to come over here? They can do it without you. Look over there. Give us a background. What are you in charge of here? I see you're directing these kids.
We are Guilford Youth Football and Cheer.
Okay.
And we are the cheerleaders.
And you got all of these guys, too.
And all these guys, too.
Great job. And the cheerleaders do this in conjunction with the football kids.
Yeah, we cheer at their games.
Okay.
Thank you.
think that was the high school touchdown club. All right, how about the Moodus Drum and Fife Corps? Check these guys out. They were established in 1860, 1860. And they are committed to the unique style of their music and the traditions. They're a non-competition corps, and I'm going to let them play so we can pick up some of their music. One thing that's different is their style of marching. Never heard of the Connecticut Shoreline Indivisible group. I apologize, I never heard of your group, but what are you? Come this way. Yeah. What are you?
We are a political action group. We're not for any particular party. We're more about get out the vote. We're more about spread the issues. We're a progressive group.
Are you in line with certain issues?
Well, right now the big issue is the Board of Education. We would like people to examine their candidates. How do they feel about
that's Habitat for Humanity's going right now. Thanks, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
the big issue in town seems to be critical race theory, which really isn't taught in the schools.
Well, we'll probably leave that there because I'm trying to be apolitical with this.
Yeah.
With what's going on in town, you know.
Yeah, no, I understand. So basically,
but you are indivisible.
Progressive values. Get out the vote. Know your
Oh God, here she comes. Did I need that? Thank you. The Republican Party, yeah, like I said to this gentleman now, trying to remain somewhat apolitical in the presentation because there are some issues in the town of Guilford right now that are going to require all of you to take a long, hard look and decide for yourself what it is that you need to do. Personally, I like the fact that there's energy, there's new ideas, there's a new focus, there's new something. Anything that's new is good. I always say that to do something, oh, look at these dancers. To do something because that's the way we always did it is not the way to do it. But we shall see. That's Arthur Murray Studios on Water Street here in Guilford. Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts. Usually the Girl Scouts are right behind them. I don't see that. Republican Town Committee, we did that. Arthur Murray, you saw it, also went by. And the Girl Scout troop, by the way, is Girl Scout Troop 62306, and they are ages 6 through 15. And Cub Scout Pack 475 was there, as well as Boy Scouts of America Troop 474 and 471. That's a big group. That, you know, another great resource in the town of Guilford for the youth of Guilford, and only good stuff comes out of that. Okay, so now we have the booster club for the Guilford High School lacrosse team, and we actually talked to them earlier in this program. And as I mentioned, I thought, it seems to me at least, that the lacrosse as a sport is much, much stronger now than it ever has been in the town of Guilford. Hi, guys. Love that, love that. And right behind them is the Shoreline Arts Alliance, which was formerly on Route 1 in Guilford. And it is now, they've moved recently. Hey, Ed, how are you? They have moved recently to Madison. Don't talk to my wife. How you doing, Ed?
I'm doing well.
Long time no see. How you doing? You staying active?
Yeah, active. 86 years old.
86?
Yeah, 86 years old.
I can't believe that.
Feeling good.
All right, what do you do?
Playing a
Give
lot
me,
of
give me
tennis.
some tips.
Play tennis.
Yeah, do you?
3 times a week.
Do you miss the other side? What you
I
were?
do.
Do you?
I think the governor's doing a good job, so I'd like to be up there.
All right. Former elected official on the state level for us. Good guy. Yeah, as I mentioned, Shoreline Alliance for the Arts recently moved from Guilford right over the line into Madison. But they are a shoreline organization, so they really didn't take much much away from where they were. What they did is really for the shoreline. They represent quite a few, oh God, quite a few of the. Lucas, hold this.
Yeah.
Looks like there's a break in the action here. So before I move on to the next, group that's going to come through, I just want to mention one more time that what the committee did with respect to grand marshals. Grand marshals, as I mentioned, typically in a parade like this has one grand marshal sitting on the back of a convertible Cadillac or something, and that's not the case. What the committee felt we should do this year, because of the pandemic and because of all of the issues and all of the turmoil that so many of us have been in, so many restrictions placed on us, lifestyle, jobs, family connections, travel, all the things we like to do. They decided they would create several categories, and they came up with 12. And they are the town workers, town businesses, nonprofits in town,
Yeah, I do actually.
volunteers, farmers, police officers, healthcare workers, delivery workers, firefighters, educators, EMTs, and they, the bottom line is they came up with all these different categories, and the different categories, get that, Lucas, will you? Thank you. The different categories were
Where were you?
were a better way of doing this. I'm actually on that one. Oh, that one down there, yeah. They actually came up with these 12 categories in lieu of doing that traditional one grand marshal. Talk. Yeah, I'm talking. Can you hear me now? Okay. All right. The other thing I would like to just do one more time, I think it's here somewhere. Yeah. Lucas earlier had mentioned which of the elementary schools got what award based on which category, and I'm just going to repeat that while I have a break in the action. For Best Design, it was Guilford Lakes. Baldwin Middle School received the award for Best Student Workmanship. A.W. Cox, Best Use of Props. Best Use of Costumes went to Calvin Leet, and Most Creative went to Melissa Jones. So that's all good stuff. And the fact that these kids all got involved, and with volunteers, obviously, and teachers and administrators within the schools, again, to me, it just says an awful lot about the town we live in. I know why there's a break in the action in the parade, and that's because the group you're going to see next that comes through is the Village Drill Squad. And what they're doing is periodically they've been stopping and performing at different locations along the parade route. They are a comprehensive drill team that offers more than just drill instructions. We have culinary, contemporary dance drum instruction, and arts. And the person who submitted that information is Shirley Banks, and it's a group actually based in New Haven. But This is, as I mentioned earlier, a parade that has been from day one open and transparent and open to anybody that wants to participate. So here's a group actually not from Guilford that's in the parade this year. Okay, when they, well, the village drill squad has actually finished, I think they have finished that small demonstration for all the people that are sitting on the sidelines up a little bit further on Park Street. And they'll be here in a minute. Maybe. Maybe they have more songs to do. You gotta love it. Be great to get one of the people in charge here to get a word with them and talk a little bit about who the kids are and how they get involved in this. Oh, security. I don't know. Some of these guys look like they're pretty young, but I tell you what, they're right in step. Some of them are better in the age group, maybe 6, 7 years old, if that. Okay, so next up is the Guilford Democratic Town Committee. Hi, guys. How you doing? How are you? Long time. How you been? Hi, Matt. Christine, how are you? First Selectman, Senator Cohen. And this is the Guilford Independent Party. Now, this is interesting. Wow. Okay, the Independent Party I read is actually a merged party. The party has proposed 5 candidates. 2 of them are Democrats, registered Democrats, and 3 of them are independents. And so now we have the opportunity at Election Day to vote for one of 3 different groups or individuals within those 3 groups for the Board of Education. Should be very interesting. We'll see what leads up to it. It'll be even more interesting the morning after. Anyway, what we have now is Guilford Land Conservation Trust. You did meet them already, so you know that they raise money to buy land. Susie.
Another year, another
year. I know. This is my last year. I'm all done. I'm old. I'm old.
I'm not giving up yet.
All right. So what do we got here? Guilford Community Nursery School, founded in 1955 by a group of dedicated parents seeking an active role in the preschool education of their children. And Community Nursery School continues to nurture and develop the uniqueness of every child that passes through its doors. pretty good for the theme, moving ahead to the future. I don't know that we've really mentioned that. The theme this year is moving ahead to the future, which obviously you would buy into because of what we've been through for the last 18 months. So who wants to go through that again? I'm hoping that what we're seeing now with these news reports of numbers going up, numbers going side, get a booster shot, don't get a booster shot, get your vaccination, on and on and on. This mixture of information that we're getting puts us in that situation where I just hope it's over. Get it over with. Okay, so now we have the Stony Creek Drum Corps, who you met also. And they've been around a long time. They have not given me the years that they started here, but I know it's on the drum. And it's old. It's old. $1886. Come here. I want to get a word with them. I know they have a bake sale coming up and a book sale, and I just wanted to have them give a plug. I believe the date for that is next weekend. If I'm not mistaken, it would be the 24th, or the 25th, or both of them. But it's in the vicinity of those days. One year I tried to get on this. Do you remember that? Anyway, they have a book and bake sale, and I think it's next week. So now we have the Guilford Preservation Alliance. And Guilford Preservation Alliance, well, I'll tell you what, they go way back, and they go into everything. And they preserve, and they're aware, and they monitor, and they... Is that Shirley? This is my old friend Shirley. Not my old friend. My old acquaintance. But not so old. I've known you a long time. Anyway, Shirley. How are you? I think I could do that. I don't think so. Mike, could you handle a unicycle? No? I think that was Guilford Community Gardens that just went by, and they celebrate their common work on promoting pollinator habitats, as well as composting and waste reduction. And Terry Kane, is she in the group? Terry's an old friend of mine too. Don't know if she's there or not, but I apologize for them going by when I was actually picking up the papers that I dropped all over the street. Anyway, now you have, wow, a lot of kids and a lot of coaches. You got Guilford Little League. Guilford Little League was established, I believe, in 1950. So it's been a very important part of this community for 70 plus years. And they are followed by the museums. Various museums that we have in town, Highland House and others. And love the costumes. You guys look great. You look great. All right, Moms Demand Action. Okay, what's happened is some of these groups are out of order from the paperwork that I was given. And as a result of that, I'm going to have to wing it. But the bottom line is, I think I remember reading that Moms Demand Action is a group that has been formed as an advocate for reduction or elimination of gun violence. So who doesn't agree with that? I can't imagine. All right, Deep River. If it looks like these people are getting a little weary, they're getting a little weary. They've been marching now from the end of way back on Whitfield Street all the way around the green, and now they're on the corner of Boston Street. And this is the Guilford Fair, which we've already mentioned is on today, and they had some great entertainment last night. The Guilford Fair had, they have magic all the time. They have the Flying Melindas all the time. They had all kinds of music. I know they had a cover band for Paul McCartney, and I am with, I call him Chief Tom Terabile, although that's a former title.
That's a former title.
Come out here, Tom. You guys are unbelievable what you had to do today. He's got you up there.
Okay.
What you had to do today early in the morning, I saw you out there marching the street. What's that all about?
Well, we have to outline where people march up. The committee has designed a line of march, so we have to put the numbers in the road so people know where to line up to get them to come out at the right time.
And did they do it?
Yeah,
Are they cooperative?
Oh yeah, they did it. It was a very good job. They did a good job.
Yeah, because the bottom line is that they got to listen to you. First of all, you're the chief.
No,
but beyond that,
that's beyond that.
I mean, it's important for the parade because they come out in a certain order,
Right.
and they, otherwise you got a log jam up there. Then what?
Well, yeah, then you got to worry about the road, the traffic coming back and forth. So it gets a little hairy down there at the end for a while.
And you had a lot of help.
Yes, we had, I believe we had 10 or 12 Rotarians helping do the marshaling. The parade committee organized everything, and we just told them we would help out doing the marshaling, so that worked out great.
So Rotary had an active role again.
Yeah, we had an active role on helping out with the marshaling.
This is a commitment for life, you know that?
Well, we'll help them out if they call and ask. Of course, we'll do whatever the community needs, and if that's what it takes to get the parade going, we'll do it.
You got it. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Tony.
Okay, you got the Rotary. That's terrific. Guilford, Texaco. All right. Where's Jimmy? He's working. Oh my God. I don't know if you know Guilford, Texaco. The good people on the West End, Route 1, they do a phenomenal job. Westbrook. Oh, you know what I missed was the class of 1970 went by. You know about Detect? I hope you know about Detect. What he's developing is an in-home test that you can buy at your local pharmacy when it's approved by the FDA. Nice boat. When you're approved by the FDA, you're going to be able to buy that and do your own COVID test in the privacy of your own home and be able to get results almost immediately. That's what they are developing. I know many Guilford people are actually volunteers in being tested. My wife, for example, goes every Thursday. I've been 5 or 6 times, and they're very, very cordial. They're very nice people. And if they get this done and this pandemic or COVID situation continues, hi, how are you, Heidi? It's over, Heidi, it's over. I know. There's a Rotarian who was sweating bullets right now trying to keep up with everything and do her job. But the bottom line is, if you don't know about them, you ought to look into it. I am way out of order on my paperwork, so I'm going to have to ask these kids who they are. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you?
Are you part of this?
Yes, I'm the principal of Calvin Lead.
Hey, what school is this?
Calvin Lead!
I didn't hear you. Let me hear it again. One more time. It's Calvin Leet. Look at how great that is. You know, the theme was, again, moving What's the theme? Moving forward to the future. Calvin Lee. Okay, I finally caught up with my paperwork. I think, and don't hold me to this. I think the next group coming down the street is Melissa Jones. And so, because I did it with Calvin Lee, I have the kids remind me what school it is. And you'll be able to get, Mike is getting a good shot, I assume, of the back of these flatbeds. And all of the work that went into doing what they did. The participation by the kids, first of all, which is fun. But then with the mentoring by the parents and teachers and administrators of each school that have helped out. I mean, come on, it's phenomenal. It's been going on for years in the town of Guilford. I know it's almost automatic. You expect it every year, but this group here is, you know, just phenomenal. So this one here looks like a beehive or something on the back. How are you? Hey, what school is this? What school is this? I didn't hear you. MJS. MJS. I guess that's Melissa Jones. That's Melissa Jones. And if that's Melissa Jones, they're number 72. And number 73 would be Guilford Lakes. I'm surprised that they bunched them all together like this instead of spreading them out. But it is what it is. And you know what? It's really a beautiful, colorful sight. Looking up Park Street to see all of these kids and all of the work that they put into this. It's just, you know, it's really phenomenal. And keep in mind, today is September 18th, I think. I mean, they've only been in school for a couple of weeks. They did all this in a short period of time. So we got to find out what school this is. Hey, what school is this? I didn't hear you. What is it? Say it again. I didn't hear you. How you doing? Guilford Lakes. And after Guilford Lakes will be A.W. Cox, which all of my kids went to A.W. Cox many years ago, but they all are graduate of A.W. Cox. Look at this stuff. Look at what went into this. Look, first of all, who lined up these flatbeds for them? These are business people that, these are money-earning jobs they do with this stuff, and they're taking the day off to volunteer. Maybe more than a day because all this stuff had to be decorated. So this is A.W. Cox and great school. Usually we try to get a word with the schools and the people in charge and so forth before we actually start taping the parade. But we was unable to do that because of where they were located. I think they were actually set up and established to start on Water Street. And we actually, Mike and I were down on Whitfield Street. But look at this. The future is ours. Boy, no, absolutely. Baldwin Middle School. And as you can see, I mentioned, and Lucas mentioned also, the best student work. He's holding up their ribbon that they received. Good job. Good job by everybody. Now we have the people in charge. And you met earlier today. Earlier today, you met Debbie Palouse, who is the chairman of this committee. And her committee are the people. Nicole, hold that sign so I can see it. The Guilford Fair Parade Committee, and there they are. Great job, guys. Okay, so Dee Jacob, Bob Jacob, Nicole White, Lauren Gunningsmith, and Chris Fapiano, along with Debbie Palouse, and what a job they did. All right, Michael, we're done. So we are at the end of the parade, and what we have now is a finale. I want to thank Mike Sinclair for doing camera today. I want to apologize for any of the groups that I missed as they were coming by. And some of the groups, as I mentioned, were out of order from my paperwork, but some of it was my fault. How are you?
How are you?
Good to see you.
The Republicans in Guilford?
See, this is the real benefit of doing this every year. This is why I do it.
That's right.
Anyway, I have no idea who that woman was. My wife's going to ask me. I know Pat Todd. Anyway, Mike, the bottom line is that we did it. I hope you had fun. I had fun. I hope people at home enjoy it. And I hope at the end of the day, everybody gets together and understands that we're at the end of the pandemic and we're coming out of this in one piece. And that's the most important thing. With that, thank you for watching.